You know who I'm talking about. That person on your friends list who just never posts. They're like a digital ghost. You see they're alive. Maybe they like a post here and there, but their own feed is a ghost town. It makes you wonder, right? In a world where everyone is sharing everything, what's going on with the people who share nothing? Well, we're about to find out. Okay, so the first thought for most of us is pretty simple. They must be shy. Or maybe they're a little awkward, maybe even antisocial. That's the easy answer, the one that kind of makes sense on the surface. But what if that's not it at all? What if their silence isn't a sign of weakness, but a sign of a really profound, quiet strength?
And this is where it gets fascinating. The common view sees awkwardness, but the psychological truth is often deep-seated confidence. We see antisocial, but what's really there is someone who is incredibly self-aware. And what looks like insecurity from the outside, it's actually someone who is so grounded in their own reality, they don't need constant check-ins from the rest of the world. It's a completely different way of moving through life.
So, where does this quiet strength actually come from? Well, it all boils down to this really powerful psychological concept. Think of it as your inner compass. Or if you want the official term, it's called your internal locus of evaluation. And trust me, this is the key to understanding the entire mindset.
Here's the best way to think about it. Someone with a strong internal locus of evaluation is like a ship captain who has their own map and compass. They aren't constantly looking to other ships to see which way they're going. They're not panicking because of the changing tides of public opinion. They're charting their own course, guided by their own values. And at the end of the day, they're the one who decides if the journey was a success, not the people watching from the shore.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's this quiet little rebellion. It's a stand against this very modern idea that an experience doesn't count unless it's been posted, shared, and liked. It's like declaring your own personal independence from the up and down roller coaster of the like button.
And when you're guided by that inner compass, it naturally leads to this first big idea, the psychology of privacy. This isn't an accident. It's a very conscious choice. It's about deciding that your own inner peace is way more valuable than the temporary buzz of online popularity.
Now, two key things are going on here. First is what's called a high privacy orientation. It's really just a fancy way of saying you are fiercely protective of your personal life and your inner world. You're just not willing to trade your peace for likes. And the second part is self-concept clarity. This means you have a really solid idea of who you are, and you don't need a perfectly curated Instagram feed to prove it to yourself or anyone else.
And when you have those two things working for you, you unlock this incredible sense of freedom. You're just not playing the comparison game anymore. You're not looking at everyone else's highlight reels and feeling bad about your own behind-the-scenes moments. You're free to just live your life, for you. So this whole preference for privacy, it's not just about being a private person. It's actually an act of self-preservation. It's a way of protecting your mind from the crazy, toxic feedback loop we could call the digital illusion. Just think about it for a second. It's a random Tuesday night, you're on your couch, scrolling. You see someone from your old job on an amazing tropical vacation. Then you see a friend celebrating a huge promotion. Then another one with a photo of their perfect family. It's almost impossible not to feel like your own life is somehow falling short. That feeling? That's social comparison theory, and it's a game that is absolutely rigged against you. The people who choose to opt out, they've figured out how to break free from this cycle. First, they recognize so much of social media for what it is. A performance. It's a big show where everyone's the star of their own carefully edited movie. And by simply rejecting the comparison, by refusing to buy a ticket to that show, they reclaim their absolute most valuable resource, their own mental energy. And that's a huge realization to have, you know? Your focus, your attention, your cognitive bandwidth, it's not infinite. And every single minute you spend scrolling through someone else's performance is a minute you're not investing in your own actual life. But this isn't just about protecting yourself from the bad stuff. It's also about actively embracing something really powerful. It's about understanding that in a world that is obsessed with oversharing, a little bit of mystery, that's a superpower. I mean, let's be real. We live in an age of total digital exhibitionism. Every single meal, every mood, every minor thought can be, and often is, documented and broadcast to the world. The pressure to keep up, to perform, can feel absolutely immense. And that's why this quote is so perfect. It just completely flips the script. It reframes this idea of restraint. It's not a weakness, it's not fear, it's a kind of mental discipline. It's the quiet strength of knowing your life is full and rich and meaningful, even if you aren't shouting about it from the digital rooftops. And that, right there,
is the heart of it. This is the fundamental truth. It's the powerful realization that the only validation that truly, deeply matters is the validation that comes from within. You just don't need an audience to feel whole.
So this all brings us to one final, and I think really beautiful way to think about this whole thing. Let's use a little metaphor here. The idea of your life as a private garden. Seriously, just picture it for a moment. Your life, your hopes, your relationships, your private joys, even your struggles, it's all a secret garden. It's a space that is completely yours. You're the one who tends to it, who cultivates what matters to you. And most importantly, you get to decide who you invite inside.
Now, a lot of us, we've basically built our gardens right next to the information superhighway. Every car that drives by can look in, make comments, pass judgment. But the non-poster, they've built a high wall around their garden, not to keep life out, but to protect the incredible things growing within. And just because all that traffic speeding by can't see the flowers, well, that doesn't mean the garden isn't in full, glorious bloom.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one last question to think about. Not just about those other people, but about yourself. Who is your garden for? Are you tending it for the applause of the crowd on the highway, or are you nurturing it for your own joy? The answer to that, well, it might just change everything.